member on the committee, conference report on the Water Resources Development Act, when my BlackBerry buzzed. I looked to see what message was coming in, and I saw an announcement that a bridge had collapsed and there was an M alongside it. I thought, a third world country? And then I looked closer. That M was Minnesota. That bridge was I-35W. It carries, or had carried, an average of 140,000 vehicles a day. 13 people were victims. 88 to 100 other people were injured. A dramatic collapse. 20 years ago, on December 1st, 1987, 20 years ago from that date, I opened hearings as chair of the Subcommittee on Investigations and Oversight on bridge safety. I said there are an estimated 376,000 bridges. Of that number, 217,000 are federal aid interstate, primary, secondary, and urban bridges. They carry 85% of the nation's traffic. Yet 76,000 of those bridges are deficient, a number that has been gradually increasing over the last 4 years. That was 20 years ago. Today we have 153,000 structurally and functionally deficient bridges. I went on to say, we know there are elements of bridge design of particular concern to bridge inspectors. Bridges without redundant members to prevent a tragic collapse if that one critical member should fail. I-35W was one of those fracture-critical bridges. One essential element failed. The whole bridge could collapse, and it did. There were multiple causes, and we await the determination of the National Transportation Safety Board. I said further, we have to ensure that bridge inspection personnel are keenly aware of the problems involved with bridges whose supporting members are set on the floor of the body of water compared to those on pilings driven into the subsoil and deeper. We are hoping in these hearings to find out how many of these types of bridges are in the National Bridge Inventory. That information is scarce and in some states not contained at all. Key witness at that hearing, a professor of bridge engineering, Dr. Gerald Donaldson, said that in his estimation, bridge maintenance is in the Stone Age. We have no good logical way of selecting the proper bridges to repair, rehabilitate, or replace other than our memory and manual review. Most states have virtually no bridge maintenance programs with specific qualified maintenance goals, no documented maintenance processes, no rationally planned aggressive strategies to arrest bridge deterioration. Most states address bridge maintenance deficiencies on an ad hoc basis. He said further, many states are not using even the easily available technology to assess bridge conditions. In terms of more sophisticated technology, many of the states basically are only dimly aware of what that technology is. Well, I can say that in 20 years, not much has changed. Despite efforts to increase funding for bridge inspection, bridge safety, personnel, train those personnel better, train federal and state inspectors to higher standards over the last 20 years, we have failed, and a bridge failed. We bring to the House floor today legislation that will put the nation on the right track to raising the standards by which we build bridges in the first place, raising the standards by which we determine which bridges are structurally deficient and which among those are the most critical bridges to repair in a categorizing and prioritizing of those bridges, to increase the standards by which we train bridge inspectors at the federal and state level, and increase the funding for states and the federal government to hire the necessary number of bridge inspectors to raise the standards, make those bridges safer, prevent future loss and future collapse, as happened in Minnesota. This legislation will move us in that direction. There may be some little differences about the structure of this proposal, but we in the committee are agreed on the path, on the direction, on the goal, on the objectives. The funding issues we'll address next year in the Surface Transportation Authorization Bill. For now, we need to put in place this structure, raising the standards by which we determine structural deficiency of bridges, categorizing them, establishing a yardstick of measurement, having it vetted by the National Academy of Sciences so that we have an absolutely transparent and reliable means of determining the prioritization for investment in and addressing the needs of structurally deficient bridges. And I reserve the balance of my time.